Hello and welcome to Newsroom Series. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. Today our focus is the Southwest region. But first, our top stories. Organized labor appears to be up in arms with the regulators and managers of the power sector as it begins picketing generation stations and offices across the country. Championing this cause is the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress. In Abuja, members of the union stormed the headquarters of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Led by the President, Joe Ajero, the workers are asking for an immediate reversal in the hike of electricity tariff. Security agencies cordoned off the entrance to the NERC, denying the NLC leadership access. In Kaduna, the labor unions led by the Kaduna State NLC Chairman Abdullahi Danfulani and his NLC counterpart Ayuba Suleiman barricaded the main gate of Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company and prevented staff of the company from gaining access to the offices. Carrying placards with different inscriptions and singing solidarity songs, they kicked against what they describe as segregation by the electricity sector through class differentiation in power supply.
We don't see any reason, any rationale in saying band A, band B, band C, serve us with electricity. Let us flourish, do our businesses of ice blocks and so on and so forth. Welders, many artisans are there stranded, and then you are saying you are increasing the cost of electricity, and we are saying no to it. We are calling upon the government to, as a matter of urgency, I said as a matter of urgency, revert back and let's go back to the drawing table. Our demands are revert back, let's go and sit down and agree on what to do. We see no reason why in Nigeria you buy transformer, you buy pole for your environment, for your house. They will take over the things that you buy. And then they will tell you to pay for electricity again. Well, that's cheating in Nigeria. We see no reason where our entity has been sold and then government gave them about 3 years when it was sold. When it was sold, what is the essence of transaction? We don't need it anymore. Comrades, this is just the beginning. We are going to go in our series of activities. This is the first one, picketing. We are hoping that government will do the needful before we get to the next stage of it.
Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
Still from the north, this time in Kwara, members of the labor unions blocked the entrance of the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company in Ilorin over the hike in the electricity tariff. The placards carrying different inscriptions and singing solidarity songs, the union leaders stationed themselves around the premises while the workers sat patiently awaiting further directives. Chairman of the NLC says the hike has been having negative effects on the people and asked the federal government to intervene.
We are here for picketing. The issue of hiking the tariff of electricity that brought us out. If you go by the news, the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress at the national headquarters, they have been making a serious warning to the federal government that they should reverse the step. And despite on the serious warning here and there, they put a deaf ear on their discussions. And as a matter of that, the next thing is to take action. And that is why we are here this morning, to picket IEBDC to stop from the obnoxious policy that is affecting the life of the Nigerians. The price for the monthly pay for the bill of electricity, either used or not, will be as drastically increased, which affects the spending of individuals in their home. And as a matter of that, the hardship of our economy is badly affected by everyone in the country, and which make things very difficult until when the federal government call our dealership into round table for discussions. And I so much believe when they get each to an understanding, we are going to put a stop into this picketing.
And as we begin Southwest region coverage of the Newsroom series, we stay with the hike in electricity tariff. The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and civil society in Ondo, Ekiti, and Oyo states have joined their counterparts across the country to protest the increase in electricity tariff, the epileptic power supply, amongst other economic policies. The union members say Nigerian workers can no longer cope with the backlash of economic policies of the present administration led by President Bola Tinubu. The labor unions are asking the federal government to rescind its decision over a hike in electricity tariff and other policies that have not served Nigerians well.
Members of the Trade Union Congress in Ondo State stormed the premises of the Benin Electricity Distribution Company in Akure to protest against the recent hike in electricity tariff. The workers, led by the state TUC chairman Clement Fatuashi, gather at the entrance of the office, singing solidarity songs to express their grievances. However, the premises of the office is deserted as the doors are shut and no staff present. The gate is also under lock and key.
Knowing fully well that what we are using before is nothing to write home about. We have big city like Akure, who has not been seeing light for the past 4 days, and now you are increasing what you don't give. That is, we want to be paying for zero, and they are still increasing. That's why that we are paying for zero, they are still increasing.
Electricity Regulation Commission and DISCOs, they are not delivering the services, and they want to be taking more from the masses. Then, fed that too much is given, much is given, and to whom nothing is given, they cannot take from where they've not sold. That's what informed the picketing.
Same views are shared by the unions in Ekiti State. The NLC chairman says no community can boast of 12 hours of power, while some communities have been in perpetual darkness for decades.
Here in Ekiti, there is no community that can boast of 12 hours supply of electricity. There are communities in Ekiti land that they have been in darkness for the past 10 years, if not because of the intervention of the new administration in the state. So why we are here today is to say no to any increase in electricity tariff.
Elsewhere in the southwest, the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress and civil societies are in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, as they join their counterparts across the country to protest the hike in electricity tariff, epileptic power supply and other economic policies they describe as inimical to the progress of Nigerian masses. The unions want the federal government to rescind its decision over electricity tariff hike and other policies that have not served Nigerians well.
We are here just to pass a message to the IBEDC and NERC concerning the hike in price of electricity supply. Already we are enjoying epileptic supply of electricity. Now they are saying we still have to pay more for what we are not enjoying. We are here today, enough is enough. They should please let the poor breathe.
It is high time all this hike in price of this electricity should be brought down immediately. Immediately. We are not even enjoying it. We're not even enjoying electricity, and they are making life difficult for us every day. They put up everything that will make sure. When they wanted to come in, they promised us good life. They promised us better life. They said there will be a change. We voted them in, and they are making life difficult for us. Enough of this.
A representative of civil society organizations, Abiodun Bangboshe, also believes it's time the privatization policy in the power sector gives way to the original public ownership structure, as privatization encourages corruption.
The argument around subsidy is just a ploy to compound the economic hardship that the Nigerian people are going through at this mature point in time. And we feel that, that is uncalled for. And that is why we are calling on the federal government on the need, to reverse the current hike in the price of petrol. Not only that, so far, for over a decade now that the electricity sector has been privatized, it has shown that privatization is a failure, is a fiasco, and it has not been able to resolve all of the problems that has been bedeviling, the power sector.
Workers at the headquarters of the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company have been sent home as the office has been locked till further notice.
And now we turn our attention to Lagos State, where the unions also picketed distribution companies over the hike in the tariffs. They also condemned the disparity by the labeling of the different bands.
The picketing is about the hike in the electricity tariff, and we can also see that government has also created a different platform for the rich and another platform for the poor, so that the rich, it's affordable for them to pay a hike in the electricity tariff. For the poor, who is going to give us the money to pay for this new tariff from 68 naira to 200 plus? So who is going to do that? So who does that? In a country where you have already removed the subsidy on fuel, where there is no subsidy on food, where there is no subsidy on health, where there is no subsidy on education, where there is no subsidy on every other thing.
We have been covering the hike in electricity tariff vis-a-vis the protest by the unions across the country. And joining us on the program is the chairman of the NLC in Oyo State, Mr. Kayode Martins. It's good to have you.
Well done, my brother.
Once again, unions are on the streets across the country. The hike in electricity tariff obviously is the matter at hand. What's the bone of contention?
We just want to tell the federal government to please let us live. As of today, Nigeria is no longer a secure country for a common man. To live in Nigeria sustainably today is very much difficult for a common man. It's like Nigeria is made solely for the political office holder. All their policies, their programs are inhuman. None of it carries human faith. They make life difficult for all and sundry. So we are against the hike, the electricity tariff. Initially, we are not enjoying anything from that end. So it's an insult for them now to come up with hiking the same things we are not enjoying.
For the discos, it's not as though it came as a bolt out of the blue. There was talk that there was going to be a hike, there was going to be an increase. Do you have a problem with the manner with which the increase has come? And do you think that the discos should have a sit down, as one of your leaders of the union said, with the labor unions and the federal government with the labor unions to look for a way forward instead of just increasing the tariff?
Thank you so much. Since last year now, we've been on the table with them asking for increments in the minimum wage, to pushing the effects of the rise inflations and some other things. Nothing has been done as regards that. And then they woke up and they said they were going to increase the electricity tariff. That's the best way. If at all, they should give us reasons. I don't know the reasons I used to that decision. It came up some weeks ago rating us from one batch A, what do you call it? A, B, C, D. In my area, I know we hardly enjoy power supply. It's very epileptic. Now you are asking us to pay more, and we are earning lesser every day. Everything given to us, the little we have that has been offered with right hands, indirectly has been taken with their left hands. Our leaders are not, they are not considerate in all their decisions. I spoke with a private sector owner or business owner, and he said he spends close to 49 million naira monthly to purchase diesel. You increase diesel's price, fuel price. Just like you recently said you're going to place tax on this and that. Why? If you want to compare us with other countries where they pay huge amount of taxes to the coffee of the government, how much is the minimum wage in that same place?
What finally? Yeah, Mr. Martins. Yes. So what finally what action will the NLC take in Oyo State, for instance, where the chairman, and maybe at the national level, if the tariff does not decrease and the discos don't return to status quo?
This is just a signal to them that we don't buy into the idea. We won't die we already die in silence, and we are crying out now. They should please let us live. And peradventure they remain adamant, we will give them what is next. I wouldn't be able to discuss that, but I can bet it with you. We won't take that, and we won't relent.
Well, thank you so much for the time you spent with us, Mr. Kayode Martins, the NLC Chairman in Oyo State. Thank you so much.
It's an honor.
Elsewhere, the Ogun State Governor, Mr. Dapo Abiodun, has solicited the creation of the Ogun Division of the Court of Appeal to aid quick dispensation of justice in the state. He made the request when he received in his office in Abeokuta the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongban-Menson. He says the setting up of the Ogun Division of the court will ease the workload of judges in the Ibadan Division.
Scheme, and I understand you have about 10 panels, which is highly commendable. And I believe that what this would do is it would immediately, and I'm sure these cases span between criminal, commercial, and civil cases, and this will immediately unlock, enterprise and commercial activity, and of course, strengthen social order that otherwise would have been, stuck because of these cases that have been dragging for many years. What we want to, I would like to, my first ask and plea is that this initiative that you have resuscitated, perhaps we can have, that this, is repeated periodically, and this we'll see as a precursor to the request that we had made sometime in 2020. In 2020, I wrote to the President of Court of Appeal then, asking that they should please consider setting up the Ogun State Division of the Court of Appeal. And I think that request is strengthened by your trip here this week, because you also alluded to the fact that even when you were in Ibadan Division, most of the cases that are being had in Ibadan Division are from Ogun State.
Speaking earlier, Justice Monica Dongban-Menson said her visit to the Ibadan Division was to decongest appeal cases that have been overextended due to lack of time occasioned by election and commercial appeals.
I've always been very conscious of the fact that Ibadan Division needs support. And when I came on board as the president of the Court of Appeal, and being confronted with this, depleted number of judges, I felt there was a need for us to move from time to time, because some divisions are not as busy as others. Definitely, the Ibadan division ranks fourth in the number of, volume of work. So I move justices around from time to time. All of us move heavy loaded division to decongest the port. The PJ of Ibadan division had appealing, complaining about the workload. It wasn't anything new because since I had worked in the Ibadan division, I knew that it wasn't just talking idle talk, just matter.
The Oyo State Governor, Mr. Seyi Makinde, says his administration has successfully created strong institutions that will stand the test of time and make the state thrive across different sectors. The governor noted that states do not need strong governors or administrators, but strong institutions that can compel them to do well and add value across all sectors to develop the economy and promote sustainable livelihood. He stated this when he signed the Oyo State Project Monitoring Agency bill into law at the governor's office in Ibadan.
Our legacy will be the institutions that we're able to create to ensure that Oyo State will continue well into the future to enjoy good governance. We do not want strong men, strong pharaoh, or strong governors. We want strong institutions that will stand the test of time. So this is one of the institutions that are being created to ensure that it's not just about paying 30% mobilization. Even for that 30%, we must extract value for the people of Oyo State. So this is one institution that will ensure that value are extracted for our project in terms of schedule and in terms of quality. So let me use this opportunity to say thank you to the House. It's a demonstration of the togetherness, of the legislative and the executive arms of government.
Finally, the Lagos State Commissioner for Agriculture, Abisola Olusanya, says the agriculture sector contributes about 7 trillion naira to the GDP of the state. She made the comment to the ongoing 2024 ministerial briefing in Alausa, Ikeja. Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development also says a 40% rebate has been approved by the state government for property owners to pay for their building planning permits to avoid demolition. Mushi Food Hub, a subsidized market established by the Lagos State government, is one initiative put in place to reduce the economic hardship on citizens. The latest of such is Eco Cares, a social intervention program launched by Governor Sanwo-Olu to support vulnerable residents in the state. The State Ministry of Agriculture, in charge of all the food support initiative, is here at Alausa, Ikeja to take part in the ongoing 2024 ministerial briefing. The Commissioner rules out the success story in the area of appeals project, Ekpe Food Logistics Hub, and the contribution of agriculture sector to the state GDP.
We broke ground back in 2022 for the logistics hub at Ekpe. In the last 1 year, there has been massive progress around that. And the plan is that by December of this year, we should be commissioning the first phase of this food hub. Part of what we are doing now also, using Mushin Food Hub as an example, you have some of the appeals farmers bringing in their produce there, so creating market access. Annually, food transactions in Lagos, annually, is up to 7 trillion naira.
Next in line is the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. The Commissioner says 90 days amnesty window has been given to the state government for property owners to acquire all building approvals, in addition to a 40% rebate on planning permit payment to prevent demolition.
Upon realization of the low level of approved building in the states and in reference to the palliative measures of the state government by the state governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, who has graciously granted a 90-day amnesty period to property owners and developers of existing completed structures.
The state government has also digitalized its physical planning permit process that can now be obtained within 10 minutes.
From the comfort of your home, from anywhere in the world, you can obtain planning information from us. You do not need to visit our office in Alausa or write us a letter. You can apply online and you get your planning information online, with which you can now do your drawings, which you can submit in the Office of Physical Planning, particularly the LASPA office, for your planning permission.
In the energy sector, the State Commissioner for Energy and Mineral, Mr. Abiodun Oguleye, says government has concluded plans to set up 5 additional power hubs across the metropolis to give residents other alternative sources of clean energy. He also speaks on the stringent measures to regulate the operation of liquefied natural gas vendors in the state.
If you know anyone that government needs to come and shut down, government needs to come and pull down, if they are constituting nuisance to the environment, please feel free, let us know. We'll take appropriate action. With plans underway to develop 1 gig of grid-scale solar energy capacity for the Clean Lagos electricity market.
So far, 12 ministries have given account of their scorecard in the last 1 year, with an assurance to do more for the people of Lagos State. That's it on Newsroom series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Mukol.